fashion lovers, welcome to Fun Fashion YouTube channel. Follow me in this video. Let me show you how I made this beautiful sleeve on this trendy corporate dress. It is a two-piece basic sleeve. Hope you're ready. Let's go. Place the pattern paper on fold and mark down the sleeve length, that is the shoulder to elbow line and the full length of the sleeve. Okay, then the next thing you have to do is to mark the sleeve cap height. To get the sleeve cap height, divide the bust measurement by 12 plus 1.5. For mine it's 4 because I have bust measurement of 36. Okay, so I've gone ahead to mark the 4 inches. Next thing I did was to mark down the round sleeve measurements at the top of the sleeve, that is where the cap height is, the elbow line and the full length, and connect the point. Okay, draw a straight line from the cap height line to the top of the sleeve. Measure the line and divide whatever you have by 4. For mine I have 1.9. I'll go ahead and mark 1.9 down. So I'll mark 1.9 down and label 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that I'll come to the line 1 and measure ½ inch in, then I'll maintain this line. Okay, at line 2 I'll maintain the point, then on line 3 I'm going to be marking ½ inch up above that line. Okay, so now that I have marked ½ inch up above this line 3 and ½ inch down below this point 1, I'm going to connect like so. Okay, and I'm going to connect to this point up to the ½ inch that I marked here, and then connect to this point. Okay, so this is what I have, right? Okay, so if you're making a short sleeve, you just have to cut it off from wherever that you want to cut it off from. So I'll go ahead and cut. So the next thing you're going to do is to notch the midpoint and open up your sleeve, because we want to mark the front. Okay, so we are going to be dipping in the front by 0.25. so we are marking out 0.25 from this point, then we'll connect to this point. Okay, like so. So this is the front and this is the back, so you can go ahead and give it a notch to indicate the front. All right, so I'm going to be converting this sleeve now to a two-piece sleeve. So all you have to do is to get the tip of this sleeve and fold to meet the midpoint of the sleeve. Okay, like so. So you also do the same thing for the other side. So I'll tape it down, then I'll mark the elbow point. Remember, this is the front. I also want to notch the front part of this part, right? This is the front and back, so you also indicate it on the other side. This is the front and this is the back. So I'm going to cut this part open. So you can go ahead and tape it together so that it can form one single piece. Place the top of the sleeve on a fresh pattern paper and pin down the patterns. I'll come to the front of the upper sleeve and mark 1 inch here at the hemline. Okay, and connect to the elbow line like so. Right, So I will also come to the back of the upper sleeve and measure in 1 inch, okay, and connect to the elbow line, right? Remember, I indicated the front, so you also need to indicate the front part of the sleeve. So I'll also go ahead and pin these parts down. So I'll come to the front and measure 1 inch and connect to the elbow line. Okay. So I will come in here at the back by 1 inch as well. I'll mark 1 inch and come in here by 1. For the two-piece sleeve, the down part is usually smaller than the upper part. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to be taking away 1/2 inch from this down part and replace it to the upper part. I'm going to be taking away 1/2 inch. I'll cut. Okay, now remember to notch the front, okay? The notch to indicate the front. You can also notch the midpoint, okay? So this is what I have as the new sleeve, okay? So I'm also going to add, I'm not going to add that 1/2 inch that I took away from this part to this other part, okay? So I'll measure 1/2 inch. I'll add the 1/2 inch here that I've taken away, okay? Right. So I'll add the 1/2 inch part that I took away from the other part. I'll add it here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut. Remember to also notch the elbow point, because we are going to make sure that the elbow point of the front and the back aligns. So go ahead and notch the elbow point. Remember to also notch the midpoint as well as the front. Okay. So this is what I have. I'll go ahead and notch the elbow point. Alright. So this is it. This one is now smaller than the other one. So we'll go ahead and cut on our fabric. Go on and add 1/2 inch joining seam allowance on all the whole parts of these pattern pieces, okay? I will not be adding hemming allowance to my own pattern because I already did when I drafted my pattern, okay? So go on and cut. After cutting, you also need to notch all those important parts. Alright, go on and cut on your lining pieces as well. Make sure you cut the lining pieces exactly the same thing as the main material. Also go ahead and notch all those important points. Now I have gone ahead to join the upper part of the sleeve to the lower part of the sleeve, okay, using that 1/2 inch that I added, okay. When you are joining, make sure that the elbow point aligns. You also have to make sure that the front, that part that you marked as the front, also aligns with the front of the upper part, okay. After joining, this is what it looks like. So I also went ahead to join the lining pieces the same way that I joined the main fabric, okay. So what I'm going to do now is to go over to my sewing machine and turn it over. Okay, I want to turn it over with this lining. If you're not adding lining to your own sleeve, just go ahead and join it to your dress. Okay, so I'll pin them together with the right sides facing each other. Remember, we left an opening for the slit, so I'll go over to my sewing machine now and sew it down and turn. So after stitching the lining to the sleeves, this is what it looks like. Can you see? This is what it looks like. So this is it. Okay. Remember that we notched the front, so we have the slits at the front. So the two-piece sleeve is ready. The next thing we are going to do now is to fix it to the dress. Okay, so this is the dress. So remember that we indicated the front on the sleeve, okay, using a notch. Okay, this is the midpoint, this is the midpoint, and this is the front. So we'll make sure that the front part of the sleeve also goes to the front part of the dress. So I'll pin it down. So I'll also pin down the other side of the sleeve. I'll go over to the sewing machine and stitch it round. So after joining the sleeves, this is what they look like. Okay, can you see? So if I flip to the right side, this is what I have. If you want to learn how I made this dress, tell me in the comment section and I'll send you the tutorial. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. Turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new tutorial. See you in the next video. Bye.